Hey guys, Ghost to Dave here with another Destiny 2 Forsaken video showing off another weapon that we happened to miss back when the expansion first came out, and that is of course going to be the Halfdan D. The Halfdan D is one of the few auto rifles that I missed out on making a review of, but the Halfdan D is a high impact frame 360 RPM auto rifle. I got a range masterwork, and look at this maxed out range stat. That is an absolute beast. As for the sights, I got GA post and SD thermal, which I'm a fan of both, but I picked the thermal for the max range. Magazine options kind of suck, I got appended. Tap the trigger is an incredible perk on this weapon because look at that abysmal stability stat. And I know people say it doesn't matter on PC, but oh, that absolutely does hurt this weapon. So tap the trigger makes up for that, and kill clip just makes this weapon even more lethal after the initial kill. So it's a pretty gnarly roll, and I'm wearing the Actium War Rig just because I needed an excuse to wear the Actium War Rig since the last time I played the initial campaign of my Titan, which was a long time ago. So when I first got this weapon and I first started trying it out, I had no idea how I was going to feel about this thing. We all know I use a lot of auto rifles here on this channel. I love auto rifles, but I do not use many high impact autos whatsoever. 360 RPM autos are just not really my cup of tea. I have not used many of them, and I think the only one I reviewed here on this channel is the Age-Old Bond, which I got on my first run through of Last Wish, so I instantly checked it out, and I really liked it at the time. I loved the aesthetic of it, I loved the shot sound, it felt nice, and it was something really different, because the only 360 I used before that was Sweet Business, and we all know Sweet Business starts firing faster, so can you even really call it a 360 RPM? Anyways, let's talk about high impact autos and what they do. High impact auto rifles, 6-shot, 5-head, 1-body, all resilience guardians, or lower resilience guardians, it can 4-head, 2-body, and that's pretty reliable, that's pretty consistent. I enjoy that quite a lot. So I would say that's a pretty fair and reliable shots to kill, 5 to the head, 1 to the body, or 4 to the head, 2 to the body, depending on the resilience. I'd say that's pretty reliable, it's fair, and it's only 6 shots overall, and that sounds really good. However, 6 shots with a 360 RPM is not actually incredibly fast. It still is not a faster time to kill than 600 RPM auto rifles, which I believe are king right now, and I believe 450 has a better time to kill gently as well. The difference is the consistency of only needing 6 shots, and the fact that they have so much range going for them that you can actually duel a lot of hand cannons and a lot of other weapons. Some pulse rifles, not the quad bursts, you're not going to be taking them on, and you probably won't get bygones either, but you can duel a lot of different weapon types at range, because that is where this weapon actually stands out. And it's cool to see auto rifles competing in a place they don't normally, in the range stat. Obviously, I've talked about the fact that I feel like something like tap the trigger Zen moment is a go-to on these things. As you saw, that stability stat is awful. Anything to make it more stable while you're shooting is going to help you out. I've talked about it before. People say, oh, just correct the aim better and whatnot. But any input that you do not have to put in, any less input so you can just focus on basic tracking, is a direct advantage of the weapon. As for a stability perk, I also highly recommend kill clip on them, because kill clip takes that 6-shot time to kill to a 5-shot time to kill, or 4-shot time to kill if you run into a guardian 2 resilience or lower. Kind of a joke, you're really almost never going to be running into a guardian with resilience that low, so don't expect to ever land those 4 shots, but you could pair it with something like One-Eyed Mask or Inertia Override or Frontal Assault. Any of those, that is going to give it that nice 4-shot time to kill, which actually means that these guns can kind of compete with some better weapons. Obviously, as I mentioned, I'm not super happy with my magazine option. That's the only thing I would change about this roll, though. I would change the magazine. If I didn't have the range masterwork and I had stability or something, I would go with accurized rounds for that increase in range. But since I do have it, the thing that I would change it to is drop mag, without a hesitation. Being able to reload quicker, whether it's for kill clip or not, is just so nice, because the reload on this thing is incredibly slow and is kind of annoying to constantly have to reload. So that was something that Actium War Rig did work out for, but I still needed a reload to proc kill clip anyways, so just having drop mag would have made this gun all the better. So, not having a god roll, but having a good roll, I was incredibly happy with this weapon, with how it performed, and the interesting auto rifle niche it held. Obviously, there's tons of guns that do what this gun does better, but when it comes to auto rifles, this is probably the best if you want a long-range auto rifle. This is going to be the one I say yeah, this is it. This is what you go for. The only thing, you can make it a little bit extra long range if you had one of the longer zoom sights. However, if we're being realistic, I think the SD thermal or the GA posts are probably the two best sights for the gun. I love every thermal sight in this game. That's why I really like Ether Doctor, because Ether Doctor has a nice thermal scope. The red outlines on enemies is incredibly useful and honestly helps with tracking. I don't know if it actually adds anything to bullet stickiness, but it absolutely feels like it does. Along with, just like age-old Bond, these 360s have incredibly unique aesthetics. Obviously, this is just a nice, basic, beautiful Hake weapon. I love Hake weapons because they remind me almost a lot like Jacobs from the Borderlands franchise, where they're just strong, hard-hitting, clean-looking guns that look like guns, right? Like, age-old Bond looks cool because it's nice and, like, space-themed, and it's, like, wizard tech, it's the Tachyon tech or whatever, and then you have a gun like this where this just looks like, you could put this in Call of Duty and no one would be surprised by it. It just looks, feels, sounds like a basic military-grade gun. Obviously, I'm not trying to say the other guns in Destiny don't look and sound like guns, they obviously do, but this looks a lot more like basic military tech to me. When it comes to synergy of this weapon, I always like to clarify, I've talked about it once already, but I always like to clarify that the damage boosting perks such as Frontal Assault, Inertia Override, or One-Eyed Mask are always welcome on every single gun in the game. There's not a single gun that benefits from doing more damage. So to get that out of the way, obviously those are strong synergies with this gun, especially something like One-Eyed Mask, because the wall hacks are really nice for the slow firing, hard hitting peak shots and whatnot. And you can just keep shooting since it has so many bullets and you only need 6 of them to connect. So I would say that that is a pretty obvious and strong synergy. When it comes to other things, obviously I used Actium War Rig, but I really cannot recommend it too much, especially because you want to reload to rock your kill clip. So if you kill somebody with 1 bullet and you go to reload and it already ticked up and fully reloaded your magazine, you missed out on kill clip because of something out of your control, so I don't recommend that as well. What I can recommend with this weapon is something closer range, such as a sidearm, SMG, or shotgun. I think those are very great options, or something like a grenade launcher in the special slot, like Fighting Lion or O-Rings Maul, because that allows you to get somebody low, quickly swap to this weapon, and finish them off. For the mod slot of this weapon, I 100% recommend an Icarus grip. Icarus grip was doing dirty. As you can see in the footage, there are multiple times where I'm floating in the air, I'm hip firing, and I am landing shots, headshots, cleaning up kills, and it just allows me to play aggressive with it, while the low handling on this weapon would initially not let me play aggressive because it would take too long to look down sights and actually start shooting with the slow rate of fire combined. So I definitely recommend either a hip fire grip or Icarus mod. I went with Icarus just because I like to shoot in the air. I wouldn't recommend running this with a sniper or anything. Obviously you can. Snipers are incredibly strong, one-shotting at all ranges if you know how to play them. So obviously you can, but I feel like the point of this weapon is if you're using this over other auto rifles, you're trying to abuse that nice range on it. So I definitely recommend one of the closer range options as I mentioned. You can even, if you don't want to, you can run it with a sniper and possibly run it with a shoulder charge and just be ready to shoulder charge people when you think you're about to get pushed. I personally, obviously, am running this with a tempered dynamo. That's because the tempered dynamo I have is a god roll, being auto-loading holster, backup plan, never having to worry about reloading it, and always being able to pull it out to deal with close range or even mid-range encounters, which this weapon, it can do mid-range, but sometimes you just need to burst someone down, and sometimes you're going to get somebody half and then finish them off with the Halfdan, get the kill clip, and keep going. So it works really well. Honestly, I really enjoy the fusion rifle high-impact combo. I think it works. I think it works, exactly. That's all I really have to say. Overall, about this weapon, I'm incredibly happy with it. It's really unique. Obviously, talking about the synergies, I feel like it has a lot of unique loadouts that you wouldn't be running with any other auto, or you really wouldn't be running with any other weapons if you think about it. Not being a pulse rifle, but being that long-range auto rifle is a unique niche that allows you to pair it with things that you probably didn't originally think of, and I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of always mixing things up in the Crucible, and this gun really allows me to do so. I'm going to be messing around with it for quite some time, just because I thought it was a lot. It's just so unique, if we're being completely honest, besides the age-old Bond, which filled the exact same thing, but I have never gotten a age-old Bond roll that I have deemed worthy of taking into the Crucible. The closest I've gotten was the Curated, and honestly, I feel like there's better. I've just gotten unlucky over and over again, but finally getting lucky with the Halfdan, I can safely say that I think high-impact auto rifles are in a good spot right now, and I think you should definitely, farming for one, let's be honest, it's not easy to farm for gunsmith material weapons from Banshee. So I hope that at some point when you happen to be turning in some gunsmith parts or weapon parts that you get a god roll, you get to try it out. If you already have one, please check it out. It is a great gun. It's going to give you a different Crucible experience. I'm not trying to bullshit you. It's not an incredible weapon, right? It's not top tier. It's just fun. It's just different. And that's what I like out of the Crucible. Obviously, what I like is not what everyone likes, so I can't say that you're going to love this thing, but I am saying it is something unique that I think you should try out for yourself so you know how you feel. If you made it this far in the video, that's going to be it for the commentary. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I have all my social medias down at the bottom, and I stream on stream. I don't scream. I do scream sometimes on stream, but I stream on Twitch, and soon me and my clan are going to be going for the Crown of Sorrows World's First Raid, seeing how well we can do, seeing where we can place, and if we can finish on day 1 for that emblem. So feel free to check that out on the 4th coming up, and thank you so much. Obviously, if you're still here, it's just me rambling. You're here for the 9.67 efficiency. It's beautiful, I know, especially looking at the people I had on my team. You can learn a lot from a loss, but thank you so much. I'm out.